Hey everyone, welcome to Seidio on Display, Seidio.com's own YouTube channel regarding product previews, reviews, and demonstrations. Today we are going to be checking out the Seidio convert case for the Blackberry Bold 9900 as well as the 9930. You are more than welcome to check this case out at its official website at any time. That is going to be located at www.seidioonline.com. Now, if you haven't done so already, we highly encourage you to check out our video review of the Seidio Surface case for the Blackberry Bold 9900 series of phones. The reasons being is because it is directly related to the product you see in front of us, the Seidio Convert. Now, the Seidio Convert is kind of an odd accessory because you can actually buy it by itself, but you can also buy it piecemeal, meaning that you can buy it as an add-on kit for the Seidio Surface case, okay? And they even have different variants of that. So if this sounds a little bit too confusing for you, we just highly suggest you head on over to the official website at seidioonline.com, check out the Blackberry 9900/9930 series of phones category, and then you will go ahead and see all the different variants of the Convert, and hopefully things will make a lot more sense to you. Now, moving forward, let's go and talk about all the pieces that make up the Convert. Now, remember that we are talking about the full Convert kit right here. If you buy the other versions, of course, they will be lacking a couple of pieces. So we just want to remind folks out there, if they're a little bit confused why they didn't get X piece or Y piece, that is because you might have bought a light version of the Convert, which doesn't include either the case or the screen protector, etc., stuff like that. Now, in the full version of the kit, you do get a screen protector for your Blackberry Bold. They call this the ultimate screen guard, but of course it is just, well, a screen protector for your Bold phone, so no surprises there. Moving on from that, you do actually also get a black Surface case, okay, and this is the heart and soul of the Convert. Now, for those of you who are curious, if you bought your own Surface case just by itself, regardless of the color, it doesn't really matter. It's going to work with the Convert add-on kit, but there are no color matching Convert kits, alright, if that doesn't make sense. So if I bought a white version of the Seidio Surface case, I'm going to have to use the black add-on Convert kit. If I bought the Amethyst version, I have to use the black add-on kit. Yeah, there's unfortunately no color matching options available. The Convert always comes in black. Okay, so we're not going to talk about this a little bit too much because this, of course, is the first layer that goes over your phone in the Convert case. But we already have a video review of the Seidio Surface. So if you need more information on the Surface case, please check out that video. Moving on to layer number 2, which is this right here. If that looks familiar, these two pieces actually kind of look like the Seidio Active, okay? And that's a whole other story. Basically what Seidio did is that they took their Active case and their Surface case, put them together, and they wanted to see what would happen if they had a baby. And that's what the Convert really is. It's just the Active case on the Surface case, and it comes with a holster. So there you go. That's how the design all works out. But back to this layer right here. It's a very thick, robust silicone skin, okay? This is much thicker than the one you would find on the Active because this is supposed to go all over the Surface after all. It has dust covers where appropriate, and it has coverings for buttons where appropriate. I'll show you how it all looks in just a moment when I start installing everything on our dummy version of the 9930 right there, but I just want to give you a close look at this particular piece before talking about this right here. Now, this is the third layer. This is the polycarbonate exoskeletal frame. It's a very fancy name for kind of like this wireframe piece of polycarbonate that you see right here. And all it really does is just kind of keeps the skin on the surface, and it doesn't really add that much protection, to be honest with you. Okay, it's actually a little bit on the thin side. You can see right here it's actually kind of flexible. Okay, that's not to say that it doesn't have value to it, but really it's more or less just to help reinforce the case overall, add a little bit more structural integrity, and of course it will go ahead and absorb the first impact, the initial impact, should you happen to drop it, because all the corners are covered by this piece, and of course the majority of the body, which is the back, is also covered by this piece right here. Chances are, if you drop your Seidio Converts really hard up against something, this is the first piece to go. If I've talked to a lot of Seidio Convert customers, usually they have to get this replaced more than these two pieces right here. Now, last is the actual holster itself. I'm just going to give you a brief tour. We'll talk about more about it later once I actually have the phone to show you. Now, the holster itself isn't the most flashy holster we've seen. Of course, that award goes to Artabox. They actually make the best holsters because they're very big and they have a lot of utility to them. This is not too shabby at all. Okay, it's a 180-degree holster, meaning that it rotates 90 to the left as well as 90 to the right. I gotta make sure not to drop it right there. There's a restraining claw on the top. Okay, it's actually loose right now, but you can lock it and unlock it at will, which is kind of cool. So you see right there now the claw is inflexible. If I push down to unlock, the claw is now flexible. And this is kind of useful to have, so that way once you put your phone into the holster, it's not going to go anywhere once you lock it down, okay, which is of course very important because sometimes accidents do happen. Phones fall out of the holster. On the inside you will see a lining of microfiber. Okay, that's actually to keep the screen nice and scratch free. That's in theory, of course. If you have stuff stuck to this, then it turns into sandpaper, so you don't want that happening to you. But other than that, you see these little wings on the side and this little cradle kind of moldings on the bottom. Of course, that's just to make sure that your phone stays in place, and that is pretty much it for this holster. So I'll go and show you that in a little bit moment, but right now let's go and put everything together. So here's our dummy version of the 9930. Remember, this is compatible with all 9900 series of BlackBerry phones. I'm going to go ahead and take apart the Surface case right here, throw away the insert because I no longer need that. I'm going to go and slide this in first, and we'll try to do this as quickly and accurately as possible. Alright, so once I have the Surface on there, I'm going to go and add on the skin layer. This is technically layer number 2. Once that is in place and everything appears to line up, here comes the tricky part of actually putting the exoskeletal frame in, which is layer number 3. I want to make sure I get that through that hole first, and I'm just going to go and line up the corners. Go and put that back into place. Make sure everything lines up correctly. Alright guys, here is the Seidio convert on our dummy version of the 9930. So let's go and continue with the rest of the tour, I should say. As you can see right here, the lip that is created from the convert is very, very nice. This is actually one of the thickest lips we've seen so far for a BlackBerry phone with the Seidio convert anyway on it, and that's really good because that means that your screen and your keyboard are very elevated away from any surface that you happen to drop it up against or rest it up against, okay? And sometimes when you rest it up against a surface, even if it seems kind of harmless, there are stuff that's on there that you don't really notice, small little rocks, pebbles, dirt, etc., stuff like that. And having a very elevated lip, okay, is very good because your phone is never touching all that nasty stuff, and you don't want that getting inside the little grooves of your keyboard, into the grooves of your button, your trackball or trackpad, I should say, or touching up your screen, etc., stuff like that. So a really nice design. Your phone is going to be very well protected, especially if you decide to use the screen protector in conjunction with all of this as well, which you should be doing. Moving on to the top, we have a covering for the main power button that you see right there. Very easy to press. You can hear it very clicky on this dummy phone. Moving on to the side, we actually have 2 little dust covers we're actually going to pop out right now. One is for the USB port, okay? Of course, the other one is for the audio jack, alright? Now that audio jack is very recessed in there, okay? So even if you pull this all the way back, it is very deep, so that means that straight connectors will work. Angle connectors, it's probably not going to work. You're going to have to use an extender, okay guys? Moving on to this side, we have covering for the volume up and down rocker switch that you see right there. All 3 buttons, very easy to press, clicky noises that you can hear right there, as well as one for the, I believe, camera button or all-purpose programmable button on your BlackBerry. Moving on to the back, you can see right here the dust cover for the all-important camera lens and the LED flash. It's always nice to kind of have a dust cover over this in a full-bodied, heavy-duty case. Okay, you always do want to see that. And a little cutout right here for I think is the built-in speaker location. Now it seems like the speaker may be blocked off, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, it is kind of in there. In other words, it's not completely blocked off, but you're not going to necessarily be using the speakerphone that much with the Seidio convert on there, okay? So if you're a type of person that really loves the speakerphone and you have this, you're probably going to have to put it on max volume, okay, because it's going to be pretty muffled. So I just want to give you that warning right off the top of the bat. So we're going to finish off here with this video by just putting this into the holster, okay, very simple to do. This is how it all looks when everything is assembled. I'm going to go and lock it down, and that is it, guys, for the Seidio convert case. So feel free to check this out at the website once more at www.seidioonline.com. You can check out the different variants of the Convert, and we say that this is an excellent flexible case for your BlackBerry phone. Remember, if you don't need all that armor, take it all off and just use the Seidio Surface. And once you do have a need for all of that protection, all of that bulkiness, add it back on the fly. And it's very cool, and that's why we like the approach Seidio has taken with this particular accessory. So feel free to check it out on the official website. Feel free to check it out on our own website at www.dadio.com. Keep following us on our YouTube channel, Dadio on Display, for more product previews, reviews, and demonstrations. Thanks as always for watching.